Okay, y'all. How's it going? I decided to make this video to talk about how I feel about the protests. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, I've seen a lot of division in this country and a lot of unity. But remember, in unity there is strength, and united we stand, divided we fall. What we need to do is come together. We need to focus on our common ground. It's like, frankly, like the whole taking down of Confederate monuments. Apparently they've run out of Confederate monuments, and they're going after statues of Abe Lincoln as well. Which is really quite telling, because they aren't interested in destroying the Confederacy's legacy. They're interested in destroying the American legacy. And, honestly, when I saw that bust of Abraham Lincoln not smashed up, I honestly thought, maybe it was Antifa, possibly BLM. It could have been one of those groups. It may not have been. It may have just been some random people. Anyway, and those people could be of any color. In any case, when I see cops taking a knee and National Guardsmen dancing with protesters in the streets, that's just inspiring. That has never happened before. I've never seen anything like that in history. And I've read a lot of history. But anyway, as far as defunding the police, I'm not a fan of law enforcement by any means. Remember, I have a mental disorder, so I'm 16 times as likely as a regular person to be killed by a police officer. But still, that doesn't... Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. I mean, things can go from bad to worse like that. Do you want armed militia groups who are really, really bad popping up? I mean, you'll see executions, you'll see people getting shot left and right and executed in the streets, lynched. And you see, the whole premise of all this is America is undergoing some radical changes. And as far as coronavirus goes, I know we've been ignoring it lately, but it's still very much out there, and we're starting to see a spike because of all this protests and all that crap. However, my suggestion is to everybody, keep your masks on, stay 6 feet away from each other if you can. Just, be careful. I'm not saying, it's, stay home and all that crap. It's just, keep your mask on, stay 6 feet apart if you can. Just as simple as that, There's no need to stay in your house in a hazmat suit. Anyway, as far as, the destruction of back to the destruction of Confederate statues, that's a warning sign. When people start trying to destroy the past, like burning books, ripping down statues, things like that, be concerned. Be very concerned, because it's what the Taliban did, it's what the communists did, it's what the Nazis did. It's hell what pretty much every oppressive regime does. In any case, what we need to do as Americans is, again, come together and say that, police brutality must stop. And as far as the Civil War being about slavery, I can disprove that in under 60 seconds. Watch me. Okay, there are two things you got to know about. The first Ku Klux Klan and convict leasing. The first Ku Klux Klan was established by some former Confederate soldiers, and they went around killing black people and things like that. But but also they also had a objective that was just as, if not more important, was to get them damn Yankees out. And they started killing, you know, people from the northern occupied government. I mean, they would kill Southerners and Northerners who were Republicans. And obviously, Ulysses S. Grant didn't put up with that. He was president at the time. And he declared the Ku Klux Klan a terrorist organization and brought down the full force of the federal government on these guys. And another thing that I got to mention is convict leasing. Basically, they would arrest people on bullshit charges and put black people on bullshit charges and put them back on the plantations. It was called slavery by another name. The government just let it continue for decades. So, if the Civil War was about slavery, why the hell did the government put up with convict leasing for so long? Because it wasn't about slavery, and it wasn't about states' rights. It was about money. Abe Lincoln himself said, "I can't free the slaves. Well, I can't let the South go. Who'd pay for the government?" In any case, now that that's covered, we will move on. We need to really stay out of the weeds here, because it's like, I'm opposed to what happened to George Floyd. I think there needs to be police reforms, but don't take down the statues of the things my ancestors fought for. It was basically a second American Revolution. In any case, this whole thing about police reform, let me discuss what I think should be done to reform the police. 1, there should be body cameras on all officers at all times. 2, there should be consequences if those cameras malfunction. Say, you know, a 6-month suspension without pay. 3, there needs to be a shit list, a national database, that if a cop is fired for misconduct, he cannot get a job as a law enforcement officer anywhere in the nation, in any capacity. 3, you know, officers, if they get a lawsuit against them and they get, you know, fired or whatever, for misconduct, and they get sued for misconduct, if the plaintiff wins, the money comes out of all other officers' paychecks. But then again, that might not work, because it would make it less, you know, make cops less likely to rat on each other. We need to break down the thin blue code of silence. We need to really do that. And also, we need to have fundraisers for whistleblower officers, such as Greg Anderson and Michael Sani, or whatever his name is. Because George Anderson and Michael Sani, those two men are American heroes. God bless them. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be good, y'all.